And we've made it to Friday of number one form, number one source and ticket for your Crimson Tide football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine, Nick Saban and your Crimson Tide on the practice field today. Spring football, spring practice, guys getting that action down to business, and we are bringing you the show from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming this to you on YouTube. Now, speaking of the channel, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. Smash subscribe right now. You can get all of your content, all of what you crave on the Crimson Tide right here. Hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to leave a like. Give us that thumbs up. Run those likes up. Make this your show, your network, your channel, your platform and space to talk Bama. If you're already subscribed, be sure to turn on all of those notifications and hit that little bell so you don't miss any alerts whatsoever. If Nick Saban were to sneeze right now, you want to know what time the Coach Saban sneeze? Hit that notification bell. Turn all those alerts right there so you miss nothing on your Crimson Tide. We also got you covered here on Facebook and Twitter as well, streaming to you the show. But got a cool show tonight. A lot of topics to get into, to discuss and talk about, and definitely want to hear from you, the passionate fans of Bama football. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358, the number 2. Call in and let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. The daily Super Chat goal, $75. Daily Super Chat goal there. Appreciate the support there from you, the fans. Gotta shout out my man William Bryan over there in Iowa, celebrating a birthday on today. Happy birthday and a big roll tide to William Bryan, one of our faithful supporters, listeners, callers to the show. So a big birthday to him. Now, right now, fans, let's get this show to 50 likes right now. Smash that like button. Let's get this thing up 50 likes. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the passion. Appreciate the love that you guys have here for the channel. Gotta also shout out my man John Ivory in the production studio doing his thing behind the scenes here. But we're jumping in now. First big topic here, and the Alabama defense. Everybody, the main guys are back. A lot of guys that could have went pro, that could have pursued the NFL draft coming up here next month, they decided to come back for a number of reasons, but the biggest one, unfinished business, wanting to win a national championship. The defense, the guys returning, they did not like how last season ended. You know how you want to create your own narrative. You don't like your narrative being written for you. It's like no one wants to have, it's like when you do something, you like to do things yourself. You appreciate when people help out, absolutely. But a lot of times, we as people, we like to do things ourselves, whether it's making our own food or getting our own water or driving our own car, whatever the case may be. We like to do things ourselves to create that own narrative. So for Alabama football, and in particular on defense, how the national championship game against Georgia ended, those guys, those players, they didn't like that at all. So they're back to do the narrative their way and go out on a strong end. And just, we discuss guys like DJ Dale and Henry To'o and Jordan Battle and DeMarco Helms and Byron Young. Once again, all of these guys could have went pro. They all could have put their name in the draft hat. But after playing the championship game, and after looking back and watching film from that game, and watching film from games all season where they didn't have their most consistent performances throughout the year, just looking back at that, they thought, we can't go out like this. We can't leave like this. We came here to win a national championship as leaders, as veterans, as guys that understand the system, know the system, groomed in the system, groomed under Coach Saban, and leaving without capturing a national championship as leaders, that doesn't sit well, that doesn't feel right, and that's the reason why These guys are back here in the program. And then you look at the Leadership Council. Coach Saban named 5 guys internally that make up that leadership group, and 4 of those 5 names are on defense. When you discuss Will Anderson in that group, DJ Dale, the newest member of the group, he was added, after what he did in the fourth quarter program. Jordan Battle in that group, Henry To'o in that group. And for Dale and To'o in particular, they talked about becoming more vocal. Both of these two are more so leaders by example. They don't like to step on people's toes, but they had to learn, hey, if something's wrong, check it. If something's wrong, say something. If something ain't going right, assert yourself, assert your tone in the room, and make sure things get done correctly. Both Dale and To'o spoke today to reporters, and Henry T talked about how when he first got to Alabama this past season, it was about him sort of gaining the guy's trust. He felt like he couldn't say anything, he couldn't talk up, he couldn't speak up until he earned everybody's trust in the room. He could kind of feel and sense where things were going wrong and things were not the way they should have been, and guys were not executing and operating at the standard that U.S. fans have witnessed Alabama have under Coach Saban. And I'm pretty sure Henry wanted to say something. He did, but he felt like, I can't speak now. I can't assert my leadership now because I'm just getting here. I'm just growing here. I'm just learning here on how things are done, and the team doesn't quite trust me yet. And I remember, I asked him, Henry, what was the hardest part about that in knowing that you're seeing a player or you're seeing your teammates not performing up to the standard, and you want to say something, and you want to correct them, and you want to jump out there, but you don't do it. Like, what's the hardest part about that? He said, man, the biggest thing is having your teammates understand that you're in their corner, you have their best interests, but they know that you're rolling with them. They know that you're riding with them. You've earned that trust. Once you earn that trust in the room, then you can speak, and people will more so gravitate toward what you say because you have earned their attention, you have earned their viewpoint, you've earned their trust. And I think now that Henry has earned the trust, this year, upcoming season, he's going to speak more. He's going to be more vocal. He's going to be more assertive. And the same thing with DJ. Dale has always sort of been kind of that leader by example, but, afraid to say the wrong thing and step on a player's toes and, that ordeal there. But even he said, look, senior now, grown now, as far as a player in the system, more assertive now, I can be able to tell players, hey, this ain't it. This ain't right. Clean this up. This ain't Bama. This ain't the standard. Get to that elite style of play. So that's really cool. They're hearing that from both of those two guys. And getting and looking at now Henry and Jalen Moody here, he's talking about how these two as inside linebackers, they're building a bond. They're building a chemistry. They're building a connection in that room. And with Christian Harris departed to the upcoming NFL draft, Henry To'o is going to need somebody that he trusts next to him, that he trusts beside him, to where if I'm doing this, you doing your job. If I'm getting the quarterback, you playing in coverage. If I'm stuffing the run, you doing your part right there. And both of these two, Henry T and Moody, bonding together off the field, learning each other, understanding each other off the field. To'o spoke on how Moody was one of the first guys that put his arm around him, welcomed him in, brought him in, made him feel at home. And this is key because you think about it. The national championships that Alabama has won under Coach Saban, especially on defense, the middle linebacker and the weak side linebacker, they have to have that chemistry with each other. Whether it was guys like, with Reggie Ragland and Reuben Foster, whether it was guys like C.J. Mosley and Nico Johnson, like you got to have that chemistry there with the guy next to you. Even when it comes down to Reuben Foster and Mack Wilson, there was chemistry there. Mack Wilson and Rashaan Evans, there was chemistry there. There's got to be a connection there with your two inside backers, and just hearing that Henry To'oTo'o and Jalen Moody, they've built that with each other. That's a big deal because that's going to really help the defense from a nucleus standpoint attack the play, attack the ball, create turnovers, and be that group that people not only fear but also greatly respect as well when you discuss the opponents Alabama will be playing, and then also the national media or the media as a whole. But there were the things aside from unfinished business that the Bama defense wants to correct is number one, and they talked about it, better communication. There were times last season where a call would be made on the field and the initial call gets made out, but it does not get communicated across the board. And that's where you saw guys look lost, guys look confused, guys look out of place and look to the side, what am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? That doesn't happen if better communication is involved. So that's the number one thing that To'oTo'o and Dale spoke on, better communication. Number two, better with breaking down and making tackles. And that's another one. We saw in 2021, guys will be right there in the area to make the tackle, not breaking down, missing the tackle, trying to arm tackling, opposing offensive players breaking arm tackles, just not having the fundamentals in that area and getting that improved and that cleaned up. The third thing is forcing fumbles. And that's something that Saban had this defense very keen in, is ripping that ball out. That's why in every practice he has the turnover drill where he has, a defensive player on each side of the offensive player in practice, and they're taking turns trying to swipe the ball out and rip the ball and pull the ball and snatch the ball, trying to create those fumbles, those negative plays, and turn them into points, turn them into scores. So of a defense, they know what they have to do. They know what they have to do, and they've got it ironed out what they need to do. So this was big. Hearing from DJ Dale today, hearing from Henry To'oTo'o today about how communication needs to be better. People need to be assertive, step up, let their voice be made known in the room, especially if you're a voice that your teammates respect, because if that leadership is shown consistently all year from Jordan Battle, from DJ Dale, from Henry To'oTo'o, because we know Will Anderson's going to be Will Anderson. He's going to show that leadership. But if the leadership is shown from those other guys defensively throughout the whole season, this can be a team that can literally shut opponents down. When you look at this Alabama schedule, there's some teams on the schedule Alabama can pitch some shutouts against. But it starts off with these guys understanding what happened last year, which they do, getting that cleaned up, getting that rectified, getting that better, and truly playing to that fly around, smash them, hit them in the mouth, dominant style there of football. But we go to a break here, folks. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting started. When we get back, we go on the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your chats, your interactions, a dialogue with you. Hit us up. Bama Nation, we're coming after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them bows up.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit Emily'sHeirloomPoundCakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at Emily'sHeirloomPoundCakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
And we're back in on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. Number one forum here for Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. We got a couple of super chats to get to right now. So how about El Presidente Waylon with that $9.99 in the super chats? Appreciate Waylon and the big man from the Big Apple, Bill from New York, that 501 in the super chats. Appreciate Bill and Waylon helping us out here on the show. Also, run those likes up. Let's get this thing up to 50. Hit that like button, run those likes up. Make this your network, your show, your channel, your platform, and space to talk your program, that being the Alabama Crimson Tide. We go to the phone lines right now and take your calls. Call segment is brought to you by the Blue Ridge Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab a call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Oh, me, it's Friday night. You better not be late. You don't drop your money in the hat, I'm going to crack you with a bat. Whew, Stephen, you looking good there, bro. You been down to the shop and get a little touch up there? You're looking good.
I did, Wagon, I did. It was time. It was time for me to get one.
Yeah, I may need to go down there, too, and get the weed eater out and get a hold of myself there. But anyway, how's everything going down at TDA tonight? Lay it on me. Give me some good news.
Going good, Wagon. Guys are going through practice here for Bama. Coach Saban likes, what he's seeing in the full pads. He likes all three of the transfers right now, especially, Gibbs and Burton. Now, Eli Ricks is doing his thing at corner also, but Gibbs has come in here and has made an immediate impact. Burton has come in here at wide receiver. He looks good. Defense talking a good game, but can it back it up? It was good hearing what DJ Dale and Henry T, what they both said, but the U.S. fans want to know, you're talking it? Great. Can you back it up with the play on the field? That's what we want to see.
Exactly. That's what we're waiting on. We'll see it here one of these days. It'll be here on us like a herd of turtles. I'm here to tell you what. Everybody's looking good in the Blue Ridge Gang. Hey, y'all make this show the hottest show on the streets, the number one show on YouTube, number one show in the country. Y'all blowing this thing up. Ooh-wee. I tell you what, it's so hot I can't hold the phone, son. I'm telling you. It's like this, sticking your hand on the oven and your mama popping you in the face saying, you don't do that, boy. You knew better. Anyway, y'all be safe. Have a great weekend. I love all y'all. We'll be back here on Monday, the good Lord willing. Y'all be safe this weekend. Bye-bye, everyone. I love everybody. Bye-bye.
Appreciate Waylon there starting us off on a Friday. We go to this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
Stephen, Bill from New York. What's up, man?
Doing great, buddy. How you feeling?
Well, good. Stephen, I was thinking about the wide receivers tonight. I want to talk to you about a little bit. I read an article on the internet. I don't remember where, and it said how we're losing our top 5 receivers in terms of yardage. Like something like 3,600 yards, and that would sound alarming to the average person, but not to me. And I'm going to tell you why. If you look at the receivers we lost, and they're good. Were they as good as the 2020 group? No, hell no. No, they were not. See, so I don't know. We're losing these guys, and again, I'm not saying they weren't great. One after the other was fantastic. Okay, but I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be Trayshawn Holden. I don't know Burton, JoJo. I don't know which one, but they're gonna step up. You know what I mean? Because that's what happens. Look, when Devontae caught the greatest pass of all time, the greatest play ever, I'll be honest, at that time, I didn't really know who he was. I saw him make a catch or two, but I wasn't thinking about Devontae Smith. Next thing you know, he's great. Then next thing you know, he's greater than that. He's the Heisman Trophy winner, because that's what we do. And I believe Saban planned this. I really do, Stephen. I think that he knew that these guys are going to go, and he knows who he has. And like I said before, I don't care about Hall. I don't care what he does. Wish him well, but I don't think it matters if he's there or not, because we've got talent. We are talented. These young kids that are stepping up, they get to play with Bryce Young. And all we need on offense, in my opinion, is our offensive line. And if those tackles, like the guys we picked up last year as freshmen, if they can come through, I think we're unstoppable. I really do. I was wondering, your opinions on this. And before I go, just want to say you're great. Your staff is great. I'm honored to be on this show, and I'm talking about Roll Tide.
Absolutely. Appreciate Bill from New York with that call, and I agree. I think the biggest thing offensively is his offensive line. If the offensive line gets itself together from left tackle to right tackle, I like Seth McLaughlin at center, but if everything else flows correctly, this is an offense that can be absolutely scary because at receiver, what's so great about it is you never know who's going to be the guy to step up. And Bill, I agree with your point because I didn't think early on that it would truly be Devontae Smith when the group of Judy and Smith and Ruggs were all in Tuscaloosa. I mean, Cam Sims told me at the open practice in 2017 that it was going to be Devontae Smith, and though I somewhat believed Cam Sims, I still somewhat had doubts. But then Devontae Smith becomes the greatest to ever play in Tuscaloosa. So a lot of times it's the guy that you really don't think is that dude. He becomes that dude. Folks didn't think Mac Jones was going to be that dude. And at quarterback, he became that dude. So that's the greatest thing about Alabama football is you can never really truly put your finger on who's that guy. When you think you know, somebody comes out of left field and hits you with a bat and goes, I'm that guy. And you're like, what the heck did that happen? So that's just the great thing about Bama football. You never know who's going to be the guy. Appreciate Bill for that call there. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? Elijah from Jersey. How you feeling?
Doing great, man. It's Friday, but better yet, how are you?
Man, I'm doing good. I just wanted to sit down and talk to you like we up in the barbershop talking about Alabama football. And, man, I love talking about defense, And it's some things that you said, especially with, like, Henry Tua. And I know some people feel like, man, you pick on that guy, man. But, my big issue with Henry was last year. I totally understand, Steve, that he was new to the Alabama defense. But he wasn't new to college football. This guy is somebody that was established already. He was established as a leader on Tennessee's defense. And if I'm not mistaken, Tennessee's defensive coordinator was one of our coaches at one time. Am I not correct? When he was playing there?
Jeremy Pruitt. You are correct. It was Coach
Jeremy Pruitt. So this guy came in already supposed to be battle tested. He was already supposed to be a warrior. My feelings about him, man, is you can't talk, you can't lead when you're not showing it on the field. Nobody wants to look at you and say, well, you ain't showing it, but you talking a good game, but you ain't showing it. The difference was back in the day when you mentioned these Reggie Raglins, when you mentioned these Reuben Fosters, when you mentioned these C.J. Mosleys, those guys didn't have to say nothing. Those guys played. They balled out. When they put the helmet on, it was game time. They turned into a beast mode. And their playing did all the talking for them. They didn't have to say nothing. Real leaders don't have to say nothing. If you got a team full of soldiers, that general, he don't got to say nothing. He just got to lead by example. And I feel Henry wasn't able to do that last year because I don't want to say he don't have the talent, but maybe in the Alabama uniform, that is the best we're going to see from him at the end of the season. Maybe that is the best because we're loaded with so much talent. Maybe in Tennessee, the dude just stood out because they didn't have the type of talent Alabama has on defense. Now, when you talk about this defense returning to a national championship defense, I would love to see it. I would love to see this defense do that. But when you look at this defense and you say a dominant player, how many dominant players do we have across the board? you only look at maybe two, and I say one in a possible. I'm going to say Will Anderson, of course, and Dallas Turner could be another force. Along that defensive front, you don't see nobody right now that reminds you of a Jonathan Allen. Even in the secondary, I would give Jordan Battle, the nod. I like the way he plays, man. But, back in the day, and I hate to keep comparing this team to back in the day, but that's the Alabama standard. That's all we can go by is the tradition that's been set, the standard that's been set. These players are expected to live up to that. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you got guys like Joe coming out. You had guys like Joe and the other defensive back that came out. They don't stand out like them other guys, like them Dre Kirkpatrick's back in the day, or them not D Milner, but some of these other defensive backs that we had that came out. I don't know, man. It's just like that. I don't want to see the standard lower, Steve, but these guys got to get on that A game. They got to get mean. It's an attitude thing, man. When you talk about Alabama defense, it's an attitude. It's a character you're supposed to have. I didn't think Deion Hamilton would turn into much, but I tell you this, him and Rashaan Evans they were a good tandem at the inside linebacker, and they got that attitude. They got that swagger that, you know what, we the best. We know we the best. Ain't nobody running on us, and we're going to shut you down. And I really feel like Will Anderson has it, Steve, but I can't look at none of these other players and say they got that dog mentality to them. Once the helmet comes on, it's go time. I don't see. I think they play good as a unit, but it's only one man on that defense to me that stands out, and that's Will Anderson. And I want to see more of them do it, but until they show it to me, Steve, I don't see it yet. Let me know how you feel about them comments, bro.
I mean, and definitely appreciate Elijah there for that call. Good thoughts from him, and that's the big thing. It's one thing to talk about what you're gonna do. It's another thing to actually go out there and do it. We appreciate the words coming from DJ Dale and Henry To'o. We do, but now there's a point of action that needs to be made because, for you as fans, the best defense y'all have seen as of late was that 2016 defense. When I talk to Bama fans, it's, that 2016 defense. It was nothing like that 2016 defense. And those guys had some characters. When you talk about the Jonathan Allens, the Tim Williams, the Ryan Andersons, the Deron Paynes, the Hootie Jones, the Tony Browns, the Marlon Humphreys, those guys lit you up and murdered you. They murdered you and they murdered your whole family. It was like that song by, Dej Loaf, but you don't want to try me, I'm going to get your whole family. It was that song right there. You didn't want to try that 2016 Bama defense. They were coming after you and the family. That's how menacing they were. And that was the last depiction of a menacing defense that a lot of you as Alabama fans have seen, and can it get back to that, being that menacing consistently? Can it have that? Can it happen? And hopefully the talk becomes action. That's my hope, that the talk from all of the players become action out there on the field. Gosh, shout out the birthday man, William Bryant here, dropping in that 50-piece, that $50 donations and super chats. Appreciate William Bryant showing love to us here on the show, on the network here. Gonna go to a quick topic here. Quick topic goes to quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, former Alabama quarterback, now with the Miami Dolphins, and there is so much riding on this upcoming season for Tua. His third year in the league, was drafted 5th overall, first-round pick in the 2020 venue. And it's split down the middle here for Tua. you got the Miami fans, which, Tua has this polarizing fan base. You got the Miami fans that really want to see him do well. And then you have the outsiders out there that feel like he can't do it, he can't throw, he's not an elite quarterback, he's not special, there's nothing about his game, there's nothing about his game that screams special, he's not athletic, he doesn't have a great arm, he's not Josh Allen, he's not Joe Burrow, he's not Justin Herbert, he's not Lamar Jackson, he's not Patrick Mahomes, he's not like these quarterbacks that we are seeing right now. And Mike McDaniel, Chris Grier, they've slid all the poker chips in on Tua. Got him the most electrifying receiver in the NFL in Tyreek Hill. Got him Cedric Wilson, a really good piece from the Dallas Cowboys. Got him Raheem Mostert, really good back from San Francisco. Got him another running back in Chase Edmonds. Got him a lead offensive lineman in Terrion Armstead. They franchise tagged Mike Gesicki at tight end. So McDaniel has done everything to this point to assure that Tua can jump off and be a star. And in my opinion, there are 3 reasons why I think year 3 is going to be huge for Tua. Number 1, he's got a coaching staff that's backing him. When Brian Flores was in Miami, Tua was looking sad, hurt, frustrated. Tua wasn't looking like Tua. Tua in Alabama was happy and jumping and joyful and excited. He was so full of positivity, he turned Nick Saban to being polite. I mean, that's how joyful Tua was. Under Brian Flores, he didn't look nothing like Tua. I mean, there were rumors out there that Brian Flores didn't even want Tua. He wanted Justin Herbert. So when your coaching staff is not backing you, that's going to shatter your confidence. It's going to break your psyche. It's going to have you think, am I even really wanted here? Am I really truly desired here? So now he's got a coaching staff that's really wanting him. That man going to go all after that coaching staff. That's number 1. Number 2, Tua's offensive line, bottom third of the league. I'm sorry, even though a quarterback you're expected to throw the football within 2 seconds, if your offensive line ain't giving you a millisecond, you ain't gonna get around the football. You're getting decked like a lawn chair. You're getting hit. So an offensive line still matters. And I know people go, well, Steve, Joe Burrow overcame all of that. He didn't have no line, and he still got to the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? He didn't walk out with no Vince Lombardi trophy. Why? Because the offensive line folded like a deck of cards against Von Miller, Aaron Donald, A'Shaun Robinson, Leonard Floyd, and the rest of the Ram gang. Offensive line still matters. It may not be the biggest thing, but it still matters. And so now Tua got a little offensive line to help him out here. And number 3, weapons. The NFL has become a weapons league. If you don't got more than one weapon, you done for. You look at all the great quarterbacks in the league, they got weapons. Look at Tom Brady. It's part of the reason why he left New England. He looked at Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. What the heck are y'all doing? Give me some help. Oh, you ain't giving me some help? Well, I'm to the left, gone. Went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why? Because Tampa Bay got him Mike Evans, got him Chris Godwin, got him Antonio Brown when he was not off the grid, and got him Rob Gronkowski. Weapons. And now Tua has got him some weapons to work with. He's got the weapons. He's got help from the offensive line. He's got a coaching staff that's bought in. And I think people fail to realize when Tua was in his 2nd year at Alabama, first year as a starter, he threw the ball deep, was exceptional doing that. Very accurate with the football. People don't realize 7 different options caught 20-plus passes from Tua in 2018. Jerry Jeudy, yes, he was the leader, 68 catches, 1,315 yards, and 14 touchdowns, but 7 different guys caught a pass from Tua that year, even though Tua caught at least 20 passes from Tua. And then 19, prior to the injury, Tua 33 touchdown passes and completed 71.4%. So he's been in pressure his whole life, from childhood to the Elite 11 to playing with Coach Saban. He's built to handle pressure. Year 3 this season, I'm just going to say this, watch it. When you got O.J. Simpson endorsing Tua and saying, hey, Miami going to be tough because this cat, keep your eyes here on Tua year 3. Gonna go to a break right here, folks. We'll touch that down. When we get back, we'll get into some updates here on Alabama's running backs and a freshman receiver making waves in spring practice. We'll be back after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
We're back in, folks. We're back in from the break on a Friday. Number one form, hottest show on the streets, talking your Crimson Tide. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. I am done with the Tua sermon, even though it was a fun one to get into. Guys, shout out Jamie Wilhelm with that $4.99 in the Super Chat, showing the love from the show. Appreciate Jamie for that right there. And you, the Bama fans, we got it at the 52 likes. Let's get this to 75, baby. Let's get this to 75 likes here on the show. Appreciate the love from all of you. Run those likes up. Give us that thumbs up. Make this your network, your channel, your platform for all things Bama football and Bama sports entertainment as well. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you. Well, we don't have a call in right now, but if you want to call in, 205-448-1358. The number right there to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. But yeah, those are my real thoughts there in that recent segment there on Tua. I mean, when you got O.J. Simpson saying he tough, you know, you got to do that. You just got to do that. But now we get into... My bad, I got sidetracked. We're into the second topic. Man, we're into the second topic. This will be on the running backs here, and with head coach Nick Saban, and also freshman receiver stepping up here, balling out here in spring ball. And Saban spoke to reporters on Wednesday, and in updating the running backs, this is the one position group that, you know, he feels really good about. There's no issues in the running back room. There's no issues with the running back group at all. He really likes these guys that he's got, all 6 of them, whether it's Gibbs, Jace McClellan, Roydell Williams, Trey Sanders, or even the 2 freshmen, Emmanuel Henderson, who will come in the summer, and then Jahmyr Miller, who's already here now. And Saban said Miller is developing quite well here in spring ball. But Jahmyr Gibbs is the one that's just really taken over. I mean, he is having a phenomenal spring. Coach Saban just keeps talking about, man, he's impressive. Man, he's quick. Man, he's fast. Man, he's good. Man, he's explosive. Man, he can catch out of the backfield. Man, he's just it. Like Nick Saban, Jahmyr Gibbs is just it. And when you have Saban talking like that about him, Bryce Young talking like that about him, there is real fire to this thing. The old statement, when there is smoke, fire is not too far behind. There is fire when it comes down to Gibbs. And just going to be fun watching him in the spring game of how much can we see, how much will he be able to do, how much will he be able to show the fans of that elite, dynamic, big playmaking skill set, because he's got it. I mean, from dominating the fourth quarter program since coming in here, and just having Saban continuously say how impressive he is. Keep your eyes on 13 Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is something to look. He's a force to be reckoned with right now going through spring ball. Going to now Jace McClellan, Roydell Williams, and Trey Sanders. McClellan and Williams, they're in practice. They've been going through drills. They've been going through practice with the team. They've been wearing the black non-contact jerseys. They haven't been doing a whole lot, but they are out there, according to Coach Saban. McClellan a bit more ahead of the recovery process than Roydell is, just due to Jace's injury took place earlier in the 2021 season against Ole Miss versus Roydell, who got hurt later in the season against New Mexico State. But it's good to see both out there. Both out there practicing, both out there going through some non-contact things, but they're on the field with their teammates. They're working back to being 100%. And both will be full go by fall camp. I think both will be full go by fall camp. Both will be full go by the start of next season. Both will be fine. So Saban likes what he's got here in this running back room. And then Trey Sanders doing well. He's actually leading the rotation of the running backs. It's Sanders first and then Gibbs. And I talked about this with Sanders being, 3 years removed from a foot injury that happened his freshman year, and a couple of years now removed from a serious car accident that he had to have hip surgery on. Sanders is the healthiest he's ever been since prior to hurting his foot his freshman year. So Trey is going to be able to get himself in there, do some things, make some plays, be involved in looking at what his role is going to be on the team. So Saban likes the entire running back room. He sees this as one of the biggest strengths, if not the biggest strength on the team. Now, another thing that he highlighted was there's a freshman receiver who's balling out. There's a freshman receiver who's making plays. There's a freshman receiver who's making waves on this team here. And he looks to continue that tradition that Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. He looks to continue that tradition of freshman wide receivers making big splashes in year one. You can even throw Ja'Cory Brooks in there to a certain extent. Brooks catching the 2 touchdown passes his freshman year this past season, including the game-tying touchdown against Auburn. This in the game in the overtime. That receiver I'm referring to is Kendrick Law, the 4-star from Louisiana. And Law came in as an athlete in high school. He played receiver, he played running back, he played free safety, he returned kickoffs and punts. He even threw some passes from the quarterback position. So Law is the true definition of an athlete. Saban mentioned he can play multiple positions, but he is growing and growing fast at wide receiver. He runs strong routes. He can make the catches. He's got good speed. He's got size. He's got contact balance. He breaks tackles. He can do some of everything there at that receiver position. But the thing that caught my attention, what Saban said about Law is Law has the right mindset when it comes down to not allowing things to frustrate him as a young player learning a new, different, tough system. And that's big because a lot of young players, a lot of freshmen that come in here, when they don't get something down right away, you get bogged down, you get frustrated, you get emotional. It's tough, it's rough because you're trying to learn something completely new coming out of high school. So to see Kendrick Law already having the mental disposition of not letting that bog him down, continuing to work and chip away and develop and improve and get better, and you have that with the physical tools that he brings to the table at wide receiver. Saban feels like this young man keeps developing at this rate, he is going to have a role on this team. He is going to be able to contribute and make an impact, and that's big. That's really good there for him. That's really huge there for Kendrick Law because going back and watching his high school tape, as good, as speedy, as dynamic as Aaron Anderson is, and he is, oh mama, he is. But to hear Nick Saban say, this Kendrick Law kid, he's got the right mindset. Stuff is difficult, he don't let it faze him. He go out there, he get to work, he put his head down, he chip away at the problems. He gets it done on the field as a young player, as a freshman, as a baby, having this type of mindset. So keep your eyes on 83 Kendrick Law as he continues to develop and grow here in spring practice. But we go to a break right here, folks. When we get back, we will now, in our return, get into your phone calls, your thoughts, your chats, your interactions. We'll be back with you, the Bama Nation, right after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace.
Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to WhitwellSports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
Yeah. We're back in from the break. Had to do that Scott Cochran impersonation right there. Hopefully I got that right. Back in from the break with the number one forum for Crimson Tide football news on a Friday. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciate you guys checking us out on today. Continue to hit that like button. Run those likes up, baby. Make this your show, your network, your channel, your platform, your space to talk Bama, trying to get this thing up to 75 likes here on the show. Know you guys can do it. We appreciate you guys. And before we go to the call segment to take your calls, brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, we got some super chats to get to. So how about Waylon again, the president in the house, with that $9.99 in the super chats. Appreciate Waylon, and the girl Nona Davis in here with that $10 donation. Showing love here, helping us out on the show. The daily super chat goal of $75 has been met. Appreciate you, the outstanding fans and family of Crimson Tide football. Now, we go to the phone lines to grab your calls, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
As in the words of Rudy Griffin, roll, Tide, roll. What's up, Stephen?
Happy birthday to you, William. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great there. Thank you for that. I tell you what, I'm humbled by all the birthday wishes and all. It just does something to me. I appreciate it from everybody. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. Go ahead.
No, I was saying absolutely, but you go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wanted to comment a little bit. I'm glad that Roydell and the other one is going to be able to come out for the game. I'm anxious to see that. And also want to kind of give a shout out to Jaron Reed. You remember him from the 2015 group?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I seen in the news where he's going from Kansas City Chiefs. His time was up with them, and he went to the Green Bay Packers. So maybe he'll add to their defense there. I believe he was on defense, wasn't he?
He was on defense, and for the Packers to get Jaron Reed is big because the Packers they don't hang on to Bama players long, and I like to see Jaron Reed carve out a very nice career there, especially after they just cut J.K. Scott.
Oh yeah, I hate to see him and Eddie Lacy both go, but I don't know what's wrong with them. They just don't seem to want to hang on to Alabama players for some reason. I know Eddie Lacy made some great plays for him, and J.K. was
first 2 years with Eddie Lacy was fantastic for him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anyway, I'll let somebody else on there. And Roll Tide, thank you for everything.
Appreciate
Bye.
William from Iowa there calling into the show, 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard on a Friday. Get your opinions known right now, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steven? Mr. Smith? It's Tobias calling from Fresno. Actually, I'm in Dallas right now. I'm on a layover. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, my man. What's going on with you today?
Oh, nothing. Just traveling, making it to Birmingham, check on my property there, and go to a homegoing service, and then head back to Fresno. But everything is good, sir. And I heard you on that press conference. Who was that? DJ Della.
That was Henry.
Yeah, Henry. Great job, man. You need to ask the first question. They need to start giving you the first question, sir. I still say it, and I don't mean it as a bash, but some of the questions they ask, it kind of goes over and over, and we don't get those rich questions like you ask, to really find out what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on in a player's heart and mind, and getting them to push that out. So great job again with your questioning. And I was just wondering, I listened to Saban talk about the leaders that are on the team. I know DJ Dell is one of those leaders. But I'm just wondering, who else have you heard is kind of stepping up besides those five? But who's like stepping up in the leadership realm, not just being vocal, but like showing out, and guys are turning their heads, and now they're kind of pushing up. Who have you heard is doing that, sir?
I haven't heard much, but I know that those are the main five that Saban mentioned. But if I can make an estimate, I would like to think that Jalen Moody is in there. I would like to think that Byron Young is in there. I like to think those two are in there. I would like to think that, even a guy like Brian Branch should be growing in there, especially how well he was playing down the stretch of last year, and how well he played as a freshman when he got some opportunity. So those three, Moody, Young, Branch, I would think that those three names should be somewhere in there.
And who? Thank you for that. And who is this? Is it an athlete or a tight end or a receiver that Saban was referring to? That's doing a good job. He's taking some bumps, but he's learning the system. Do you remember him talking about that? Like it was like a receiver.
It was a receiver. It was freshman Kendrick Law from Louisiana.
Oh, got it. Yeah, you've talked about him. Okay, I missed that. So he's coming along. I'm really excited about this receiver room, actually, because with Burton in there providing that mature leadership, and I think Trayshawn Holden should also be providing some of that leadership, although he doesn't have the mileage on the field, to really, punk no guys into doing what they're supposed to do. But still, he's been in the system a while. How do you think our receiver room is going to compare to other receiver rooms around the SEC?
It's got the chance to be really good. And I go back to something I mentioned earlier. It's which guy becomes that guy. Because we always look at, we may name a guy that we feel like, okay, this guy has all the tools, all the measurables, he should be it. but it may be somebody off in left field that we're not even talking about who becomes the guy. So it's all about who takes that mantle. I think Jermaine Burton is going to be really nice due to his experience, what he brings. I like Trayshawn Holden. I think Ja'Cory Brooks, he'll be back for the fall. He can be really good. You got JoJo Earl, Christian Leary. A freshman can break their way in here. It's who truly takes that mantle and becomes that guy. And that's the beauty of it, because at wide receiver, you never quite know until you start watching some games.
Okay, and then my last question is simply about our non-conference game against Texas. I know they're building something over there. I believe that we're going to go into Texas and handle some business. But what other non-conference games around the SEC do you think we should be kind of looking for, kind of reading the tea leaves, like depending on what happens in that game, that might kind of have some influence on what type of the strength of the SEC is just off the chain. And we haven't even added Texas and Oklahoma yet, but I was just thinking about that Texas game, and then I started scrolling down, and I saw Georgia has a big game against Oregon, and then it was, I think, Florida State is playing Auburn. No. Auburn plays Penn State. Florida State is playing, I forget who they're playing, man. But anyway, it's just a lot of big games, non-conference games that, could just change the landscape depending on how you win that game and then make it through our season. Anyway, what non-conference games were you thinking about? I'll take your comments off the air. I dropped some dough, man, and it's always Roll Tide.
Appreciate Tobias for that call there. I think for me, there's quite a few of them. My mind is just going to be focused on the Alabama-Texas matchup week 2, just due to there's so much build-up for this game. Texas wants to believe it made the right hire in Steve Sarkisian. So this is going to be the matchup to test and see, did it make the right move? So the Alabama-Texas matchup, that's going to be fun to watch because you got Sarkisian, you've got Kyle Flood, you've got Jeff Banks, you've got Bo Davis, all were on Nick Saban's staff. You got Keelan Robinson down there, Jingle Billingsley down there, both played at Alabama. So that matchup, Bama handles Texas, Bama can run the table. If Bama handles Texas and if Bama's defense can walk the walk that they're talking, this can be a group that can pitch some shutouts. How many? Who knows? But they can pitch some shutouts if they can back up what they're talking here. But gotta shout out my man Tobias out of Fresno with that 50-piece, that $50 donation in the Super Chats there. Showing love here on the show. Definitely appreciate. Yeah, we're gonna get to our next topic here on the network here, and this is Alabama women's basketball. Alabama women's basketball under Christy Curry has been phenomenal. They got to the NIT this season, and they've made it to the semifinal of the NIT. They beat Houston today, so they have made it to the semifinal. Hopefully, women's basketball can win the NIT, especially after men's basketball. They stumbled and bumbled their way into the NCAA tournament. Yes, they got there. Nado's got the guys there. He did. But it was a first-round exit. That was not what U.S. fans wanted. So hopefully Coach Curry and the ladies can get this team right here to win the NIT. But they're doing well. Made it to the semifinals after taking care of Houston today. But we go to our final break here, folks, on the show, and touch that down. When we get back, we discuss Malachi Moore. Didn't have the production he wanted as a sophomore. He's eyeing a bounce-back junior season. Can he get it? Can he achieve it? And is this the year we see Moore and Brian Branch together on the field consistently in the secondary? We'll talk about it after this.
If If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian or Jahmyr.
We rocking and rolling, baby. Back in here from the break. Number one form for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Continue to run those likes up, people. Give a like on the show. Hit that like button. Trying to get this puppy to 75 likes. Thanks to you, the Bama football fans. Know you can do it. Appreciate that on your end, making this your show, your network, your platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. Before we get into the final topic here of discussion, I gotta remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. We got you right here. All of your swag, drip, sauce, culture, clothing, merchandise, so all of your needs supporting the Crimson Tide. Check us out right there, TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. Link in the description. Continue to show that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama magazine. We've now made it to one Malachi Moore, defensive back in his junior year for the Crimson Tide, came in the 2020 class, 4-star from Hewitt-Trussville High School here in the Birmingham area. And Malachi showed out as a freshman in a fall camp and on the starting job at nickel. We know what he did. Freshman All-American, freshman All-SEC, just an absolute baller out there. 3 interceptions, we have the team. And last season did not have the production that he wanted. 17 tackles, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. It just was not the same Malachi on the field. And a little bit of that was, problems there with back spasms. A little bit of that was also, Brian Branch just turned up. And when Brian Branch gets turned up, you don't want to take that brother off the field. Let's just keep it 100. When Brian Branch gets turned up, you don't want to take Brian Branch off the field. However, Malachi has dropped this highlight tape on Twitter and him preparing himself to have a bounce-back junior season. We know when Moore is healthy, he's a dog. We know when Moore is healthy, he's got a lot in the tank. We know when Moore is healthy, he's a baller. He's a ball hawk. He makes plays on the field. We've seen it. So the question, being, can he work himself back into either a starting role or a marquee contributing role and create that value and production from his freshman season? Can he do that? Because I think a healthy Malachi Moore adds so much value to that back five, especially with his experience playing in 26 games with 11 starts. A big experience right there for him. And I'm saying this because, and I brought this up due to a conversation on DeMarco Hellams. Hellams, I would take him and I would move him to dime linebacker. To me, it's always, he seems to be out of position. At 6'1", 208 pounds, he loves to make those big, jaw-dropping, soul-crushing, bone-shattering hits. And if you put him closer to the action, he can make more of those hits as the dime linebacker. And you can have Malachi Moore as your cerebral free safety. People compare him to Minkah Fitzpatrick. In this highlight tape that you're watching right now, Brian Branch actually commented on the highlight tape, Minkah 2.0. So here's Brian Branch solidifying the fact that Malachi is often compared to Minka. So you could put Malachi there at free safety, slide DeMarco Hellams to dime, and your starting five could be Eli Ricks, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Brian Branch, Malachi Moore, Jordan Battle, and nobody messing with that five if that's your starting five in that nickel defense. Or you can have Brian Branch at free safety, Malachi Moore at nickel. The point being, it doesn't matter where the two are on the field, just have the two on the field together. That's what U.S. fans want to see. It doesn't matter where they are in relation to the field. Both of these two, 13 and 14, them twins need to be on the field together at the same time. Because my mind still goes back to 2020 when they both were on the field and they both pop. There's nothing like both of these two popping at the same time. So Branch has got experience. Malachi Moore has got experience. Just got to have them both out there on the field at the same time. But just switching this back here to Malachi, it's going to be good seeing him fully healthy, full strength, full range, full speed, back at peak power here, on the field. Because when he's on, he's on. When he's on, he is on. And after not having what he wanted to accomplish a season ago, he is back with a vengeance and getting that this upcoming season. So definitely want to see Malachi shake back, bounce back, and have a fantastic junior year here. But as always, fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program, that being Bama football. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. Now, you download the app by going to the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store, if you've got the Android phone. For your audio needs here, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I shall return on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Alabama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent directly to your door. That link will be found in the description. If you're trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member, a subscriber today for that magazine. That link in the description too. If you're trying to get your hands on the 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com, that link in the description also. As always, appreciate you, the Bama fans, the Bama family, with your donations, your chats, your conversations, your phone calls, your interactions, making this your show, your network, your place to talk your favorite program, the Crimson Tide. Also, gotta shout out my man John Ivory, as always, holding it down in the production room and keeping myself on schedule. Appreciate you, John, for doing that. Until next time, folks, as always, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, weekend here, but you guys continue now. Doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored. You be sure to grab yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, one more time, happy birthday, William Bryant. You enjoy that thing, man. But until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and this has been In My Own Words.